Good day, everyone. The topic we are going to discuss today is course book evaluation. Why we're talking about the course book? The selection of a course book is one of the most important decisions a teacher will make in shaping the content and nature of teaching and learning. It involves matching the material against the context in which it's going to be used, following the aims of the teaching program, as well as fitting the personal methodology of the teacher. In the ESL classroom, materials are an important aspect of the curriculum. They are the most observable feature of a teacher's methodology and can contribute greatly to a course syllabus. Why course book? There are several advantages of using the course book. First of all, it is a clearly thought out program which is properly sequenced and structured. There is a wider range of materials. You don't need to search, they are already ready. One of the most important things is security. You do not need to worry about the availability because it is secure for any age, any nation, any culture. The next advantage is economy of the preparation time, a source of practical ideas, a work that learners can do on their own, a basis for homework if it is required, and a basis for discussion and comparison with other teachers. While choosing the course book, there can be several problems. Firstly, there can be a lack of variety in teaching procedures. Secondly, innovations toward individual students' needs are reduced. Thirdly, spontaneity and flexibility are diminished. And the last one, there can be a lack of creativity in teaching techniques and language use. We got used that course book provides all the materials. And from one side, it is very comfortable and it is very good. But on the other side, it can be boring, it can be not productive, it can be not flexible, and it cannot be spontaneous. But these are the criteria that students need, particularly in nowadays society. How course book evaluation happens nowadays? Majority teachers, when choosing the course book, they are basing on external evaluation. It means they are basing their evaluation by cover, what kind of information it provides, by pictures, whether they are interesting, colorful, by topics. Do the topics coincide with the syllable and with the curriculum? And the last one, availability. Is it available in printed version or not? Is it available in purchasing or not? So if it is available in purchasing, it is good. But these are external evaluation and they are not the best criteria by which evaluation should be done. The correct way to make evaluation is internal evaluation. There is no perfect course book, but an appropriate course book or textbook must satisfy at least 3 conditions. It should suit the needs, interests, and abilities of your students. It should meet the requirements of the official curriculum and syllabus, and it should suit you. There are several steps in course book evaluation. The first one, it is analyze the nature and underlying principles of the teaching and learning situation. Analysis of students' needs. While choosing the course book, we should not think about ourselves, teachers. We should think about students. What do they need? What kind of material do they need? What kind of information they need? And how they will be able to implement and apply these knowledge in the reality. Identification of the goals of the curriculum and aims of the syllabus, and identification of the constraints of the classroom context. Going to the step number 2, we should say that on the basis of the results of your analysis, define the criteria on which the evaluation will be based, and then prioritize criteria. We will talk about criteria a bit later. And the third step is analyze the nature and underlying principles of the available materials. Compare the results of the two analyses, how far the materials fulfill your chosen criteria. Here is a coursebook evaluation checklist. The materials should be systematic. It means that all issues deemed important are considered. They are cost-effective. It means that a great deal of information can be recorded in a relatively short space. They are convenient, allowing for easy comparison between different sets of material. They are explicitly provided that all categories are understood by all those involved in the evaluation. It means that it should be understandable and clear not only for teachers, but both teachers and students on the individual basis. This is based on the McGrath 2002. One more checklist that we're going to provide is McDonald's and Show. There is external evaluation that focuses mainly on the introduction, verb, and table of context, but it should be provided by intended audience. Who are the material targeted? It means what age, what group, what direction, proficiency level, for which particular language level, whether it's intermediate, advanced, or pre-intermediate. In which context are the materials to be used? Is it English for general purposes or English for academic purposes? How has the language been presented or organized into teachable units, and how many units, how many hours per unit? The structure is very important in the course book. What is the author's view on language and methodology? And whether the language is understandable, comprehensible for students, and whether the methodology is convenient for you and your students. Are the materials to be used as the main core course or to be supplementary? You do not need to make a course book as a core of your course. You can use course book as a supplementary material. Is a teacher's book in print and local available? Is a vocabulary list index included? Here we are providing the checklist of grants 1987, Catalyst, stage number 2. Here is the questionnaire that comprises 3 parts, and it will be very helpful for you while choosing the correct course book. Questionnaire part 1, does the book suit your students? Questionnaire part 2, does the book suit the teacher? Questionnaire part 3, does the textbook or course book suit the syllables and examination? Here is the book we analyzed while choosing for the lesson of writing for academic purposes. It is Academic Writing, a Handbook for International Students by Stephen Bailey. And our main criteria for course book were authenticity, whether the book provides the real materials taken from real text and mass media materials, grading and sequencing. We already told about the logics and structure that should be provided in handbook or course book. Coverage of needs. Again, you need to make needs analysis of your student and understand whether this one is convenient and important and interesting for your students or not. And the last one, flexibility and adaptability. A good handbook or a good course book can be used individually without the assistance and help of a teacher. In that way, it is flexible and adaptable. As any problem has its solution, this case is not an exception. First of all, focus not on rider but on elephant. Rider is a teacher and elephant is a course book, so focus on the material and content of course book. Try to think critically and think out of the box. Sometimes it's good to listen to your colleagues and authorities, but it is also very essential to think critically and understand whether this course book and handbook is suitable and valuable for you and for your student.